I posted a thread over on the Cyclekart forum, and thought I'd do a real quick little video just to show how this thing works, how nice this thing works. Rich over in just south of London, over in the UK, is building a white Riley that was pretty famous. Raymond Mays raced it, I guess, back in the day. It was a 1933 white Riley. It's a pretty famous race car, that name. He's building an all wood one. Frame and everything is wood. Doing a grand job on it. Really looks nice. But he posted a picture of the dash, and he had his rally timer, or had a timer on it, had a stopwatch on it, and I thought that was pretty cool. So that got me going. That turned me on to another distraction away from my Miller race car build. And I spent the last 3 or 4 days building making a mount for an old Hanhart stopwatch that I've had for 65 years. I bought it when I was a teenager, probably 15 years old, racing go-karts, and I've had it around for a long time. Carlos, one of our very active members in the Cyclekart world, has been very active in trying to get everybody an international participation in some sort of an event. He had something going called the Corona Speed Challenge, and it was just a run we'd make, a 30-second run from dead stop, turn around, make it back in the other direction, compensates for any wind or elevation changes, and you get an average of the two speeds, and the fastest one, at the end of the year, wins the cigar. So anyway, a couple of years ago, I took the Riley out, and I did a Corona speed run. And I had a goofy ass mount made up that I had the stopwatch in, and every time I'd hit a bump or the vibration got very bad, it would just fall off my lap. It just got to be a pain in the ass. So when I saw this thing that Rich had, he was using I think he was using what they call a Terry clip. It was a clip used very common, I guess, back in the looks like the 40s or 50s, to mount watches on cars for rallies or aircraft for timing, probably bomb runs or something like that, navigation. And I went looking for Terry clips. The only place you can find them is over in Europe. They're very expensive, and by the time you get them shipped over to you, you're spending 40 or 50 bucks on a Terry clip. And I know what I made here is worth a hell of a lot more than 40 or 50 bucks, but I like making things. So I went looking. He got me turned on to that, and I went looking for mounts, good mounts where I could mount my stopwatch. And I only found this one, which I really liked, that had a lever on it. It had a little lever with a handle on it, and you just kind of bump it with your hand and it starts and stops it. It's the only one I found like that. It's really handy. It's quick. If you're driving, all you got to do is reach up and just bump it with your knuckle, and it starts the timer or stops the timer. So that's the one I decided to make. And I spent a couple of days probably making drawings up, trying to reverse engineer how they did it and getting the timing right on the cam to turn it on and off, getting the leverage right. And then probably a couple of days machine work in the milling machine to make all the little parts up. The small parts are, in my opinion, are harder to make than larger parts, so it took quite a while. And again, I made up the drawings. I don't know why the hell I made up the drawings, but I've been thinking about trying to find another watch, and then I could take make a double. So I've got the drawings. All I got to do, hell, it'll only take me a couple hours now to make the make a second one, and then I could have two of them. So one would be started, be taking a reading off the other one. You hit the lever, it stops the one, starts the other one, reverse on the second lap or the third lap, the fourth lap. So that'd be kind of handy. Where? Well, all I got is a little old pasture down there, down behind the barn here, and I run around back there with the cart and kind of time myself against myself on my lap times. So here's the timer I made up, and like I said, I've had this watch for oh God, 65 years. But this is just all scrap that I had laying around there that I picked up and got a little machine working, and got it all working. So anyway, it's really simple. You're driving your cart around, and you want to start the timer. You come by the starting line, you just hit it, and your timer's out running and everything. You're back on the wheel again. Not reaching out around, futzing around trying to find a button or anything like that. And come around for the first lap, you get by the starting line, you reach up, you hit it, and you're done. Then you have to reset it by hand, but and then you have to wait for the next lap. That's why I say if there were doubles on here, you could have one running and one stopped, and every time you hit it, you'd start one, stop one. At the next time, you'd start one, stop one. So that's basically it, and going to be a handy little thing. Why do I do this instead of doing a just using a electronic timer or a smartphone or something like that? I don't know. It's kind of nostalgic. This is what they would have used back in the 30s or 40s or maybe even before that. And I think Hanhart started making these stopwatches. They made watches from back in the 1800s, but I think they started making the stopwatch in the early 20s, and they were quite popular. You saw them in a lot of the races, a lot of racetracks and stuff. And when I was a kid, you used to see them all over the place at track events at schools and racing, go-kart racing and stuff like that. So, all right, that's about all I wanted to say.